Good afternoon, gang. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, or good night, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome back to this week's Bitcoin update. First and foremost, remember, nothing discussed is financial advice. It's for educational purposes only, and it's my view of the markets. And now we've got that out of the way. Let's jump into a rather bearish-looking chart, shall we? First and foremost, okay, so following on from last week, when did we talk last week? It'd have been Thursday, which should have been here. Obviously, since then, we've had a larger move to the downside. Every man and his dog is bearish as hell, which is understandable. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we are in this localized downtrend. It's absolutely fine. But, and this is what I keep telling you guys, and I'll say this again and again and again until I'm blue in the face. We're range bound. Okay, so if you watched last week's YouTube update, you will know I give several scenarios. One being if we come up to range high, two being what happens around this golden pocket region, three being range lows. Okay, so following on from that, let's draw on some TA and talk about it. So as you guys know, this has been the range that we've been talking about for 113 days, give or take. Okay, and we're still confined within this range. We've not broken this range yet. Okay, so here we go. So since last Thursday, obviously we came down, we came through into this golden pocket region. And if we're going to draw that on, just so you guys can see, clear as day. There we go, through into this golden pocket region. And as I was saying at the time, if we get some sort of reaction within this, then there's going to be a long trigger. Now we can zoom in to as low a time frame if you want. We got 0. In fact, let's just get rid of this volume profile for now. Otherwise, it is going to do my head in. Go away. Thank you very much. We can see we came down, we came down, we came down. Would you class that as a reaction? No, because it didn't even break any market structure. Just looking at that, clearly by itself, came into this golden pocket. Where would the market structure be on this? Bear in mind, I'm looking on a 30-minute time frame right now. Well, you'd at least want to see something like that. Get back above here, then give you a reason for an entry. So realistically, if you were long in this golden pocket blind, then you were just a bit of a fool, really, and you were taking losses. Now, don't get me wrong, I say that, and I probably sound quite harsh. If you don't understand trading, then fair enough. Fair enough. But this is the sort of stuff you need to learn, and this is why you need to wait. You need to wait. Come into that high time frame golden pocket, change market structure locally, and then give yourself a long trigger. If you don't get that, what's the point in just leaving limit orders here? Because all it's going to do is just plow straight through. You need to see what's going to happen. This is the thing, and that this is something you need to pay attention to this now. By the way, if you guys like me sharing trading tips like this, do me a favor, go down to the bottom and hit that like button. And it really helps boost the videos in the algorithm to hopefully save some more people from losing money. What you want to see when it comes to trading, and this is the best thing I could teach you on YouTube, is you want to know where you're interested in doing business. And after that, once price gets into the area where you want to do business, I call it an area of interest. Other people call it a point of interest. I don't care what you want to call it. It makes no difference to me. But what you want to do is, once you've identified where you want to do business within this zone, if and when price comes into that area of interest, you then zoom in. And then your second criteria they need is you need an entry trigger. Okay, so what do I need to see to give me an entry trigger? Do you just want to see it tap the level and bog off? Or do you want to see it tap the level, change some local market structure, take out some highs, come back down, give you an entry, perhaps into a local golden pocket at the time? If we just use that as an example, let's say that happened, then is that your entry trigger? Yeah, it could be. It could be. So you need to know where you want to do business and then what you want to see at that level. That's the most important part. And then from that, then, where's your take profit going to be? Okay. So you don't take a trade unless you've got those 3 things ticked off your list. If you can't tick those 3 things off your list, then you are just blindly trading. You are gambling. Okay. And we know what happens in this market when you gamble. So in the end, we came right down. And what did we do? Just like we said on YouTube last week, came down into the range low. Really good buy up on the back of it. So that is a really good reaction. And all we did, again, if you look on the volume profile here, look on the volume profile, because we had this deviation here, we created some volume down below. That's all we've done. So we've created some volume down below, and all we've done is we've bounced off that volume. Okay. Did you need to long down here? No, you didn't. But what you wanted to see was you wanted to see some strength. So you could have waited until price reclaimed the range, just like this initial trade back here. Once price reclaimed the range, then you had your long trigger. Same here. Once price reclaims the range, then you got your long trigger. Okay. And then we're just trading the range. Eventually, one side is going to break. You know, unless Bitcoin's going to stay in this range from 58k to 74k for the rest of its existence, I highly doubt it. But do I know which way it's going to break? No, I don't. And I'm not going to pretend I know, because that'd make me an absolute larp. And you guys know me by now. That's not what I'm here for. Right, so what's next? What's next? Well, so far we've got this really good reaction up. Okay, really good reaction up. And then obviously we've come back down. And if this is going to remain a positive reaction, and I was saying this to the members the other day, is ideally you want to see it holding some strength. So let's just come in here, let's just throw on the 382. Ideally, you don't want to see it losing that 382. Can it come a little bit further below it? Yeah, it can. It can pop just below it, absolutely fine. But ideally, you want to stay around this 382. Because for a sign of strength after such an aggressive buy up like this, you ideally want to see some continuation. You want to see it holding this 382. 382 is an important fib level. Okay, these are important fib levels, and your 382 is an important fib level. Okay, especially when it comes to crypto. Okay, if you're trading Forex or you're trading commodities or indices, things change slightly, and that's absolutely fine. But if you are a crypto trader, especially if you're trading Bitcoin, then understand the value of those key levels. Okay, so if we are going to get some continuation in here and effectively look for another bounce up, then the next question you've got to ask is, do we get acceptance back into value? If we get acceptance back into value, great, cool. Well, what's next? Point of control EQ. Flip point of control EQ, naturally. High time frame, you can look for the value area high. Now, don't get me wrong, there are various support and resistance levels within this that you've got to be aware of on top of that. I'm just making it nice and simple for YouTube. For example, look at that. You've got your golden pocket right on your point of control and your EQ. So you've got a big zone here. So if you can't break that zone, just get rid of that, come back over here. If you can't break that zone, you start rejecting, well, there's a natural short trigger. Okay. And then from that short trigger, what happens again? Back down at value area low. Does it hold? Okay. Then you just trade in value. Okay. It's really is as simple as that. Okay. Now, obviously, from that, if you get outside of value area high, then you can start looking for range highs. Now, once again, just like we said at the range low, do you pop up, come back down, grab liquidity? Anyone that's been short in this, any of these, where's the stops going to be? Likely up here. So run the stops, come back down. Does it give you a short trigger? Yes or no? If it does, great, cool. If not, let it go higher. Don't try to stand in front of it. As I said, I'm still around the 77k region. I'm still being cautious until we start smashing above 77k. I'm still cautious overall. Okay. And that's down to an Elliott Wave count that I've got. Now, what happens if we don't start blasting through these levels and we reject from value area low? Well, if we start rejecting from value area low, then once again, we might have a short trigger. If there's a setup given, then we can start looking back down. From there, what happens back in this cluster? Does this hold for a higher low? Or does this then start to roll over? And if it starts to roll over back down to range lows, for me, that's not going to be the biggest sign of strength. As I said about the 382 here. So if you are starting to come back down towards range lows, then it's a case of if you are bullish, it's the time to get on your hands and knees and start praying. I'm not, and by that I don't mean, and I know people on YouTube will take things like that really literally, don't understand my sense of humor. I don't mean if it loses that, that's it, it's going straight to zero. Okay, it just goes down to the next level of support that we've got. Okay, so if you do end up coming down and breaking out of here, first and foremost, what happens down here? Do we get something really simple? Swing failure pattern, reclaim, get back into the range. Yeah, cool. We just continue trading the range. All we've done is run out some stops. If it starts coming lower than that, you guys know the score. It's the same things that I've been talking about for God knows how long. Stuck record, as usual. Let's come out to a 4 hour so we can get it all in picture. You guys can see this. There we go. Right, just do volume profile like that. Where's the volume? Okay, we've got a batch of volume here. around the 52, 51, 52k level. And then we've got another batch of volume in this range here. Okay, down to about 38k roughly. So that's if we lose this, then first and foremost, we're looking here. Do we get a reaction in this level? Do we get our entry criteria? Yes or no? If yes, great, cool, we've got a long trigger. If no, sit back, wait patiently, let the market show its hand, and then trade along. Okay. Hopefully you learned something today. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And until next time, gang, as you were, bye-bye.